Hey everybody, it's Chris McDonough and welcome back to The Primer. Today I want to talk with you about the overnight success. Now, I had a conversation that I remember really clearly, and I was watching the 2004 Grammy Awards, and Outkast had won the Best Rap Album for their 2003 release of Speakerboxxx, The Love Below, and simultaneously delivered one of the shortest acceptance speeches in Grammy history with a simple thank you, throwing up a peace sign and leaving the stage. And my friend who I was watching this with said, wow, they really came out of nowhere. Now, for me, being a longtime fan of the group, I was really shocked to hear them say this. In my world, Outkast had been cranking out fantastic music since 1992 and was finally getting some major recognition over a decade later. My friend, who had different musical tastes and experiences, they were new to the wonder that is Outkast and felt as though that they were some fast-tracked overnight success. Now, the overnight success isn't something exclusive to the music industry. Seeming overnight successes are everywhere. The excruciatingly long time it takes to find your niche, build a trusted brand, create and fine-tune your processes and systems, find and develop relationships with customers and clients. That's not something that's done in the spotlight, and probably for good reason. It's done late at night and on weekends after you work your primary job. It's failure and struggles and mistakes. And who wants to put those on Instagram? And then once you firm up your foundation and you can stand confidently upon it to build, it's at that time folks start to take notice, blissfully unaware of the years it took you to sort that foundation out. If you're beginning your real estate journey, I'm sure you're going to hear this and think, Chris, I don't have years and years. I need to make this work now. And that you're absolutely right. You've made the leap and you don't need to make it work. You have to make it work. And for a lot of really important reasons. That's why it's so important for you to meet yourself where you're at instead of making assumptions about what others are up to. Now, comparison is a natural human trait. Even as young children, we look for likenesses and differences in one another so we can classify where other people fit into our lives. But comparison, that thief of joy, is not your friend when you're building a real estate business. Whether you're a single agent or a budding team or brokerage, looking at what someone else is doing can create some negative feelings if it's framed incorrectly. Of course, look to others for inspiration and ideas that you can implement in your own business, but intentionally fight the urge to think that you're doing something wrong because you aren't seeing the same action that they are. You're on the right track. You just began at different times. Every single step you take and every potential client you speak to is leading you towards your goal. You're gaining experience, learning what works, and more importantly, what doesn't work. And you're getting farther down the path to success with each and every day that you put in the effort. If you get farther down the path and you decide to turn right or left, and even if it turns out to be the wrong direction, you are still miles ahead of where you were when you started. If you're going to find success in real estate, in your relationships, or in any arena of your life, you're going to have to keep going despite the obstacles and what you see others doing. So here's some tips I have for you on how to keep going when the going gets tough. First, make the best decisions with the information you have and trust your future self to handle any challenges that come your way. You've made it through all of your worst days, and you can handle those unknowns too. Don't let it handicap you, that fear of the unknown. Accept the fact that it's going to take some time to build momentum and don't be resistant to it. You're going to make it. Getting to that acceptance phase of having to do the work, of having to be in the process and doing those repetitive behaviors is going to help you really have a lot more ease in your day. Next, fall in love with the process and do the items every day that move the needle forward for you. Whenever the market shifts, everyone does this big push to get back to basics. But what would happen if you never stopped doing the basics? Of course, you want to try new things. You want to be on the cutting edge of technology and social media and marketing. But what if you never strayed from doing those basics? That's going to help you keep more momentum, come from a place of abundance, because you're going to have a full pipeline at all times, and it will help you weather those shifts in the market a lot easier. Actively work on finding and celebrating wins, even if they're small. In real estate, the highs are really high and brief, and the lows can be really low and long. So finding things to celebrate every day will keep you running longer. If you have a closing, if you ratify a contract, if you really nail your buyer presentation or your listing presentation and you get some paperwork signed, those are all really high highs, and that feels really fantastic. But those highs only last for so long. And then the whirlwind sets in and you have clients freaking out. You have agents on the other side putting barriers in your path. Sometimes you have appraisers and lenders all seemingly throwing wrenches in your little perfect plans. And it can be really frustrating. And those lows can last really long time. So figuring out a way to find those smaller wins and not just clinging to those huge wins is going to make you feel more productive, more successful, like more things are going your way. And if you tune your brain to think everything is going my way, everything is working out for me, look at all these little wins I'm having, and you're acknowledging them, you're going to be able to handle the setbacks that are natural, that are going to come with a real estate transaction. And you're not going to take them as personally as if you were looking through your work life through a very dirty, negative lens. And my last tip for you on how to navigate these highs and lows is to know to the core of your being, even if you've had a bad day or a bad week, that this is working. You are a successful agent and you are headed in the right direction. If you can know that despite what's going on in your world and cling to that faith, that trust, that belief in yourself, that you are going to handle whatever comes your way because you know you can, that is going to be a bright, shining torch to help you on your path. So now that we've had our worldview lens cleaned up a little bit, let's get up and go take action and keep going, because yes, continuity is the secret to success.